We call the meeting to order for the public hearing at this time. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing with respect to ordinance number 2018-21 with respect to election of governing officers and removal of officers. This is an amendment to our charter, which basically provides under Part 1 Charter, Article 5, Elections, Section 5.16, Removal of Officers, add Section C, upon removal pursuant to this section, the removed officer shall not be eligible to qualify for election to fill the vacancy created by his or her removal during the unexpired term from which he or she was removed. Section D, upon removal pursuant to this section, the officer shall no longer be entitled to any benefits or salary of the office from which he or she was removed, effective the date of removal. Is anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of or in favor of the adoption of this ordinance? Mr. Mayor, it doesn't appear anyone's here with respect to opposition or approval of same, and you can close the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. This time we'll call the regular scheduled meeting to order. Ms. Stennett, if you would, please do the invocation. Ms. James, would you lead us in the pledge?
Make our beginning in the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for bringing us together to do your bidding for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. Bless our actions that we may speak, think, and perform to your glory with all we say, think, and do. Be with the young people here tonight, Lord, that they may follow in your footsteps, aspiring to become all that you would have. Lord, bless us as we go forward and make the decisions to the benefit of the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe. We ask these things in your precious name. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is reading of the minutes of the previous council meeting. If members of council have had an opportunity to review these, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is communications from the mayor. First of all, congratulations, guys. I don't know, I'm trying to go back and think, Bo, I guess that's the most wins since how long?
It's been a long time, probably since 2004.
Yeah, I knew it went back to the early 2000s, but you guys really ought to be proud of yourselves. And you know, it just proves what a little dedication and hard work will do. You know, I've been where you at, and I know there was hot days when you wanted to quit, and you wanted another drink of water, and he wouldn't let you have it. But as you can tell, it paid off for you. And I'm going to let Miss Dennis read this because she can read it a lot faster than I can. And then we've got some cake and things for you. I know you guys would rather go back there and enjoy the refreshments as you had to sit here and watch us do business. So Miss Dennett's going to read it, and then we'll present it to you, then y'all can go to this next room in here.
From the Office of the Mayor, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, proclamation honoring Lakeview, Fort Oglethorpe's 2018 football team. Whereas, the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, talent, and exceptional team chemistry of the 2018 Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe High School football team has enabled these student athletes to excel. And whereas, head coach Bo Campbell and the entire coaching staff, team member, parents, faculty, and student body at Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe High School were integral in guiding the team to victory through their unwavering support. And whereas, the coaching staff made the decision to move to a different offense, flex bone triple option, and the team members bought into this change. And whereas the final season record was 7-4, and Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe was a true region runner-up only to Calhoun, and whereas Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe was able to host first-time playoffs at home for the first time of making the playoffs in 9 years and 14 years since a playoff game was held at home. And whereas Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe had several all-region players to place as first and second team, as well as honorable mention all-region, with several players named throughout the season as Chattanooga Times Free Press Best of the Preps. Whereas, now, therefore, I, Earl Gray, Mayor of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, do hereby recognize and heartily congratulate Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe High School Coach Bo Campbell and the coaching staff and the 2018 football team on its outstanding 2018 season.
Coach Campbell, you want to come up? Leave them right there, man. If you'd like to say something, you go ahead and speak, then we'll present.
Over here?
Yes, sir.
State your name and your
Yeah.
address.
I know coaches are like politicians. They never turn down an opportunity.
We really, really appreciate it. I mean, that's extra special, and that's one thing that we're very blessed that, and these guys, I think they realize it at times that we're very blessed to be part of an awesome community here in Fort Oglethorpe, and an awesome school, and I'm just so very proud of these guys. I mean, we couldn't do all that stuff without these guys this year. I mean, they have worked so hard. Very, very proud of them. They understand what it takes to go through a process of, having losing seasons and really working hard to become successful. And we tell them all the time, it's about life. Everything's about life. And in life, you're going to have, more down times than you have, ups, and great times. So what we tell them is to push through it and work as hard as you can to be the best person you can be. And of course, football player and all that. So I'm very proud of their work ethic, and I love these guys like my own sons. I mean, they're my sons, and we really appreciate everything that you guys do for us. The city of Fort Oglethorpe, the school, the faculty members, the parents, the fans. We had some fans that were very dedicated this year and coming to every game that really didn't even have anything to do with our school, and we're very blessed to be part of a great city, and we appreciate that. And I appreciate all the support. We couldn't do it without you guys. The support y'all have given us throughout this whole process. In my 4 years of being here, it feels like I have people that I can turn to and ask questions and count on helping me out, because one person can't do it all. And I'm very, very proud of these guys, and I brought as many as I could today. We have basketball games that got changed to today because of the weather that's coming in. So we've got quite a few seniors that are playing basketball. We do have some guys that wrestled that made it right after practice and ran home, took showers, and got over here in time. So very proud of these guys, and these seniors I'm going to miss wholeheartedly. I mean, it's hard to see these guys go. And like I said, we thank you for everything. If there's anything we can do for you guys, please let us know. But we're all a family here, and I really feel that way about everyone in this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Campbell. Get up there in front. We ain't done yet.
I'm up here.
I'm the coach here.
Get you guys up here. We want a picture.
Okay. All the guys?
Yeah, we'll get them.
Okay.
Let's get you, me and you.
All right.
And then I'll go back up and get out of their way. Got one more.
What's up, Adam?
I look small next to him. All right, you hold that. All right, guys, get up.
Get up there.
Guys.
Yeah. I feel like Brian. I'm gonna get on a chair to be above these guys.
Yeah, there's some big fellas.
Hey, don't come on around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Rhonda, get over here.
Hope y'all, we got it?
Come on, Rhonda.
Come on, Rhonda. We're alumni. Get over here. Yeah, we may have to do a tippy toe.
Here's a hole.
Oh, I'm looking.
Here come the hole. Get up there, Rhonda.
Look at me first time, and then you can go to everybody else.
Tough to look at.
One more, and congratulations, guys.
Hey,
Okay, here we go back to business here. Next item on the agenda is zoning matters. We have none. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Ordinance number 1, third and final reading of ordinance number 2018-21. Mrs. Stoltz?
City of Fort Oglethorpe Charter Amendment, ordinance number 2018-21, an ordinance to amend the charter of the City of Fort Oglethorpe to provide for the provisions therein, to repeal conflicting provisions or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption date and all other purposes allowed by law. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia and the Official Code of Georgia, annotated 3651 et al., and the Charter of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Article 1, Section 1.13D, and Article 7, Section 7.10, to review its charter and make reasonable clarifications and amendments, not altering the governmental structure of the City of Fort Oglethorpe Charter so as to improve the public health, safety, welfare, and aesthetics of the citizens of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. And whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe is vested in the City Council composed of a mayor and city council members, and it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, that the Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia charter is hereby amended as follows: by adding Section C to Article 5, Elections, Section 5.16, Removal of Officers. Upon removal pursuant to the section, the removed officer shall not be eligible to qualify for the election to fill the vacancy created by his or her removal during the unexpired term from which he or she was removed. Section D, upon removal pursuant to this section, the officer shall no longer be entitled to any benefits or salary of the office from which he or she was removed, effective the date of removal. Section 2, if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, this charter amendment shall take effect upon the approval by the mayor and council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe. First reading 10th of December 2018, second reading 14th of January 2019. This is the third reading.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Child?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2, under ordinances, second reading for zoning variance, ordinance number 2019-01. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2019-01, zoning ordinance, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by ERTH LLC is hereby granted a zoning variance for the property known as part of map 0010B036 Emerson Circle. Said property is particularly described in the exhibit attached hereto as Exhibit A. If any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance, unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. That this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council. First reading 14th day of January 2019. Second reading 28th day of January 2019.
Thank you, Mr. Stutz. Item number 3 under ordinances, second reading for zoning variance, ordinance number 2019-02. Mr. Stutz.
Ordinance number 2019-02, zoning variance, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof, section 1, that the following property owned by ERTH LLC is hereby granted a zoning variance for the property known as part of map 0010B036 Emerson Circle. Said property is particularly described in Exhibit A attached to this ordinance, section 2. If any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not infect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by mayor and council. First reading 14th day of January 2019. Second reading 28th day of January 2019. Second reading, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stutz. Item number 4 under ordinances, the second reading for zoning variance, ordinance number 2019-03. Mr. Stutz.
Ordinance 2019-03, zoning variance, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by ERTH LLC is hereby granted a zoning variance for the property known as part of map 0010B036 Emerson Circle. Said property is particularly described in Exhibit A attached hereto. If any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption of the mayor and council. First reading 14th day of January 2019. Second reading 28th day of January 2019. This is second reading, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stutz. Item number 5 under ordinances, first reading for zoning request C2 special exception, ordinance number 2019-04. Mr. Stutz.
Ordinance number 2019-04, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by authority thereof, section 1, that the following property owned by Northwest Mountain Investments LLC and known as map 0002A072 Cross Street is hereby rezoned to a C2 special exception zoning. Said property is particularly described in Exhibit A attached to said ordinance, section 2. If any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, that this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council. First reading.
Thank you, Mr. Stutz. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. Resolution number 2019-01, Transportation Improvement Program. Ms. Simpkins. Catch you off guard?
Yes, sir. Hang on. This is a resolution to approve a project list for funding in the 2020 to 2023 Transportation Improvement Program with the Georgia Department of Transportation. The program was established by the federal government to help maintain infrastructure that are within urbanized areas that have designated functional classifications. And we have 2 roads that are functional class roads that need resurfacing.
So we intend to ask for funding from the Georgia Department of Transportation and the Chattanooga Metropolitan Planning Organization with a match in the amount of $67,537 to resurface these two roads that meet their criteria.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Ms. Simpkins. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Tenney?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, unfinished business, we have none. Next item on the agenda is reading of city clerk of any communications, we have none. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, proposed approval to approve the purchase of iWork system. Mr. Quarles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Department of Building and Zoning recommends that the City Council award the purchase of iWork systems in the amount of $5,990. This amount includes setup and data conversion. We did not put this out for bid. iWorks is a sole source that the city currently purchased product from. Kelly Software, the current system we use for building permits and zoning, is closing this year, so we have to find another permit
Thank you, Mr.
software.
Quarles. Have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second, sir.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. Notice it says that the backup will have to be to our maintained server. Is our server currently capable of handling the backup?
I'm sorry, Ms. Stennett, where are you?
Additional services, we're paying $500 annually to back up on a scheduled basis to the server maintained by the customer. It's us.
Yeah, this is additional services if we want to purchase. The part of the $5,990 is for the permitting software. As far as the backup, that's something that we'd have to purchase separately if we need that. I don't know.
Well, imagine
This is
they're
just
putting
additional.
that in there as an option. If you
It
don't
is,
have
yeah,
the
the option,
capability
yes.
of backing it up, they will back it up for you in case that whole system crashes.
Yes,
I'm assuming that's what it's for.
yes.
Well, the server would have to be maintained by the city, and I'm assuming we would have to keep a backup of everything.
And we do have two servers for that purpose.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're okay with that? And this is in current budget?
Yes, ma'am.
It is.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mr. Crawford.
we're changing this. Does this affect the way permitting and everything now, or I mean, is
It'd be a lot easier now. You can, we don't have the ability to email, or even for contractors to have a
Right.
portal to see. So it won't be the old paper and pencil that you have to leave hanging.
So you can actually probably do some stuff online, and you don't
Yes.
have to come in and
Yes, everything will be where it's a contract portal and
kind
you can
of
see.
up to date a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good deal. I like to hear that.
Yes, getting into the internet age. Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 under new business, proposed approval of real property agreement. Mr. Long.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Recommending the approval for the real property agreement. This is brought by Georgia Department of Transportation. This is on the T project out here on Battlefield Parkway, the one we got in 2011, that is still in progress, but it's basically saying that we will not use federal funds to purchase property or easement right-of-ways. It's just a formality requirement that the federal government requires on that, and there's 2 pieces of property on this project which goes across the school system. We're sure they will give the easements to the city, but there's a formality that you've got to go through since it is federal funds, and they just wanted this form signed by the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Long. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 under new business, CTI amendment of bridge. Mr. Long.
Yes, this is also on the same project. They're asking for CTI having to get a geotechnical contractor to come out and do some bridge foundation. This will be for the pedestrian bridge right before you get to Old Charlie's. And there's a lot of, for the footings and things like that, this is another GDOT requirement, and the fee for this was $15,000, and this would come from the 2014 SPLOST.
Thank you, Mr. Long. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second, sir.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Item number 4 under new business, proposed approval of intergovernmental agreement with Catoosa County for space at City Hall for ambulance. Ms. Simpkins.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you know, Catoosa County is responsible for providing ambulance service for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, the city of Ringgold, and unincorporated areas of Catoosa County. This year, the county is negotiating a new agreement with a third-party service provider, and space is needed to house 2 staff people and 1 ambulance. The city has space inside of City Hall that's just under 1,600 square feet, that's not occupied by city staff or existing tenants. So if approved by City Council and the Catoosa County Board of Commissioners, this intergovernmental agreement would be effective in January. And in exchange for the use of the space, Catoosa County would pay the city of Fort Oglethorpe $11 per square foot per year for use of the space, for a total annual revenue of $15,312.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5 under proposed approval to upgrade fire management software. Mr. Ballou.
Thank you, sir. Members of the council, come before you tonight for approval for upgrading of our firehouse software. At this time, we have software that is over 20 years old. We've been getting the upgrades, but we've been having some problems with it for the last couple of years. By recommendation of Firehouse, they suggested we go to an enterprise from the standard software to fix these problems. The cost will be $5,460 one-time fee, $1,525 for an annual fee, for a total of $6,985.
Thank you, Chief Ballou. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, sir.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 6 under new business, proposed approval to sell or dispose of surplus items. Mr. Parker.
Mr. Mayor, what requesting this evening is authorization to surplus 2 Ford Crown Vic patrol cars. They've actually been out of service for a number of years, and we've used them at the shop to take parts off of, to repair cars that have been kept in service, and these are pretty much down to just a skeleton remaining. We will probably haul them off for scrap, because if we put them online, a couple of $100 maybe you get out of them, because there's nothing left virtually. The surplus air compressor is a unit that we've had. It hasn't been in service for over 10 years. I will put that on Gov Deals to sell it. Right now I have a sale scheduled for February the 19th. Next meeting I should have substantially more equipment for items. Police department has a list. A lot of confiscated property that I want to bring to council next meeting, and then try to have everything ready for the sale on the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Ms. Simpkins.
Just like to make everybody aware out there that it does seem like we're going to have some inclement weather over the next couple of days, and if you're needing to come to City Hall for any services, just make sure you check our website. We also have a direct line phone number that you can call to find out whether or not City Hall is open. This is for the public and for employees. That number is 706-806-0524. And we're looking to update that inclement weather line by 6 a.m. tomorrow, in case you're interested in wanting to come to City Hall to pay a water bill. We want you to be safe. So everybody be safe. That's all, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Next item on the agenda, City Council comments. Ms. Childs?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Mr. Crawford?
I'd just like to say congratulations and thank you again to Coach Campbell and his crew. They were fun to watch this year, and also because I know what he's done in the 4-year period has been totally unbelievable on bringing the program back to something we're proud of, and the seniors and the players all in the community. It takes, attitude reflects leadership, and it took somebody like him to build it, and that's what he's done. But also a shout out to Chris Eves, the athletic director up at LFO, and he's done a excellent job. Former LFO graduate. I mean, he's done a great job of helping and instilling a tradition and of hard work and being a mentor to these kids. But I just like to say again, congratulations to those guys and seniors.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Rogers?
I'll echo that. Congrats to the guys. Really, really great accomplishment, and we're proud of them. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James?
I don't have anything, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Stinnett?
Yes, sir. I'd like to invite everyone to the Fort Oglethorpe Veteran and Citizen Committee meeting, which is always on the first Thursday of each month at 6 o'clock. Our next meeting is February 7th, and we will be discussing the Gold Star Garden, as well as the upcoming planting date for the police, fire, and emergency first responder trees. So we'd like to invite everyone to come and be part of that, and remind everyone to support our 6th Cavalry Museum with the 1919 Club. And for more information, you can go to the 6th Cavalry website and learn more about how to support them as they do our Labor Day at the Post, Patriotism at the Post, and so many wonderful educational programs here in Fort Oglethorpe. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Next item on the agenda, citizens' petitions and requests. We do not have anything tonight. Next item on the agenda is executive session. We do not have anything for executive session tonight. Final item on the agenda is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.